Hello everyone, getting straight into it. I've got Piccolo 2.0 in front of me. It's not officially called 2.0, but everyone refers to it as 2.0. So this is not a web exclusive. This doesn't have the brown shipper box. So here we have the packaging of the Dragon Ball Z Piccolo with similar sort of packaging with the Gohan that I just did a few days before this as well, and all the other Dragon Ball figures that have come out in recent times. So you get a nice window display of Piccolo right there, who looks pretty cool, if I do say so myself. With his crossed arms already attached to him. You can see a little bit of the alternate faces that come with this figure down the side here, just behind his name. You get the hologram sticker as well, and then of course photos of Piccolo, and then the usual iconography at the bottom. On the side then, you've just got black and white pictures of the figure again, and then on the back you've got more pictures in color of this Piccolo. So wait, there's a stand with this figure? No, it's sold separately. Okay, so there's no stand with this figure. No surprise, really. So yeah, you can pose him like he's floating or levitating. So yeah, looks pretty good overall, actually. And yeah, straight away you should notice that he's got the kind of same 2.0 figure mold engineering sculpt, you might want to say, as the more recent Dragon Ball figures, particularly Goku, because they always do Goku. Anyway, then on the other side, not much going on down here. So Piccolo, the proud Namekian, and then on the bottom, and then the top. So with Piccolo out of the box, you can see he comes with quite a few optional parts. So we're going to start with that first, starting with the hands. So first hand is the one with the two fingers pointing outwards and the other fingers scrunched up. So that's one that he will use in certain battle poses. And then we've got the ones that are for grappling, like so. So all of them use the same sort of flesh tone, the green flesh tone, as the rest of his body for the most part, so his face and the arms that you can see. Then you got the open palm hands, like so. So again, for various battle poses. And then he comes with two arms which aren't already applied to him like this. Already you can see the folding arms are attached to him. So these are similar to the Street Fighter S.H.Figuarts M. Bison figure, or the Vega for his Japanese name, that came out. So you have to remove his folding arms and then attach these. I will hopefully show you that. They can be a little bit fiddly, but I think that's just because I applied moisturizer, so it was a bit more greasy for me. But yeah, these hands or arms look really, really cool. I like the ribbing on the pink bit and the rest of his textured skin on the green part of his arms. Look really, really good. They're not just straight lines, they are actually designed properly, so you can see how that looks going all the way around. I won't show you for every single part, but yeah, I really like the way that this has come out for both these this pair of arms and the ones that are already attached to him. Really, really nice looking stuff. Sometimes the bicep section might come off if you yank them out. Just put them back in as they're shown here for both arms and it'll be fine. This bit here, the peg here, needs to actually click in to his shoulder, but hopefully I will show you that. Then for his other part, he comes with his wounded arm where his left arm gets cut off. So this is specifically for his left arm. So you get part of it shown with the pink part of his arm and then the green part, and then here's the clean cut here, so a little bit of flesh over here. So actually this, you just also have to remove the arm and then just plug that into the shoulder as well, so hopefully I'll show you that too. Then for his faces, so he comes with a secondary face for the one with his turban. So this one is just with his open mouth, and then you can see the one in back, which is just a stoic expression. So you've got to remove the original face. When I do show you that though, just be careful of the ears. His ears are a bit soft at the tips, so you don't want to ruin those. So it's a bit annoying to try and do. Not that annoying, but can be. Then for his turbanless head, so you get the ones, this one here, where he's gritting his teeth. I really like the way his head sculpts have turned out. And you got the veins on all of these heads as well. It looks really, really cool. I love the flesh tone on this as well. I love the sculpting on it. Really clean looking lines on the face and everything. The antenna look really great as well. Really nice looking head overall. It's no different for the rest of the heads. Again, really, really cool looking. So this one's more of an open mouth without the gritting of the teeth. Looking straight ahead. It looks really, really, really nice. Really like what they've done with all of the heads here. And then you get a plain one with him just looking straight ahead. Actually, I do say that the heads all look great, but the one minor quibble I have is just the red lips on both this one and then the one with the turban. I just think, I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of the red lips. I think it's a bit too bright in my opinion, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. It's a nice looking head. This one doesn't have the veins, by the way, but looks really, really cool again. So it comes with, of course, the cape piece as well, and a few optional bits that I will mention right now actually. So this one, when you remove the mantle and the cape, this just plugs into his back, and I'll show you that later on. Really simple, easy to do. These two little bits, if you have a stand or you want to display him on a stand, you've got two versions of this. So one version which basically allows you to have the cape flowing, and then you just put this in as well. I'll show you that. And a secondary version which allows you to have the cape upright or flowing backwards. So this little bit here, the cape will kind of sit on top of that. And again, I'll show you that to actually illustrate what I mean. Then you get the cape right here. So this is just hard plastic in 3 sections, so like this. And then just to show you this bit, it's got a peg right here which plugs into his back, and then these metal bits that basically allow this to kind of swivel here. I thought it was going to be magnetized. It's not. It does sometimes feel like that, but it really isn't. But it's cool overall, I think. It's not maybe everyone's preference to have a hard plastic cape like this, but I kind of like it. Anyway, there's a little bit of shading on here as well, as you can see. So I'll show you this in just a moment once it's attached. But let's go through the actual figure itself. So moving on to the Piccolo figure itself. So this Piccolo is using the more up-to-date articulation or engineering, however you want to call it, 2.0 Piccolo figure, whatever you want to call it. It's the newer version of it. I do have the old version, but I never actually opened it. So it's just sitting in its box for quite a few years in storage. So I don't have a direct comparison, but just off the top of my head, the articulation here around this crotch area would have been much more simple in the old version. And he probably had different way to swap his folded arms, and then the cape was probably different as well. And then of course paints as well. So I'm not going to get too much into detail on the 1.0 version just because I never really got hands on with it. So getting a closer look at this version then. So you can see by default he comes with his stoic expression with the turban on and the mantelpiece attached to him, and then the folded arms. So this looks really cool. I think this turned out really well. The sculpting on the mantle is really nicely done throughout. Looking at the back, this is what I mentioned where you need to replace with the purple piece that I showed you earlier. His turban looks great as well. I'll show you the top side too. And then moving down, so this one is with the blue sash. I personally prefer Piccolo with a red sash, but you're going to have your own opinion on that. And then moving down towards his legs and then his shoes as well. Importantly, you do see a little bit of detail of his flesh at his ankles, which is nice as well on both sides. So that's really cool. The little flaps here are soft a little bit. Not too bad that they'll get damaged or anything, but just to let you know that. For me personally, sometimes his head pops up a bit too easily, and that can cause problems because when you're kind of adjusting, like say his torso and then his mantelpiece, sometimes the head just goes flying. Might just be my figure, could be everyone's, but it's not a deal breaker. Again, it just happens now and then. So articulation wise with this guy, I will show you in pieces, but first I'll just show you how we can do the crunch here, like so. There's a little bit of gap on either side when you lean him back as well, and then he can lean like so. It's gonna be a bit awkward to show you a lot of it whilst he's got his mantle, and then the twist at the bottom with the sash as well. The sash is a separate piece, by the way, so if you yank it off, you'll see it's a separate piece. And then his legs, like I said, are using the more 2.0 version of it. So Goku, a lot of the Goku figures use this now. So you got the twist here, and then splits like so, moving forward and back like so. And then the knee bend. So his knee actually, so you got a fabric sculpt here, similar to how Goku had it, but the actual joint is a little bit different. So if you can see right here, they've got a more fabric sculpted bit at the back of the knee. Goku was a bit more plain with his, so I'm not sure if it's just Piccolo. I can't remember that exactly, but it looks a bit different to me. Up to you which one you prefer. I don't mind either actually. And then the ankle, like so, swivel, etc., and then the toe. So I'll show you the articulation once I swap his arms, but first let's attach the cape onto the rest so we can complete this look first. So like I mentioned, there's the peg here, and that just goes into the back right there, like so. Oops, not like so, like so. Here we go. And then there we go, it just sits, and then you can move this or swivel the section parts however you like, and then you can lift it up as well. Balance might be an issue. It seems to be okay in terms of it staying there. But in terms of having him stand on his own, you might want to use a stand, and that's where these parts come in handy. So this one I mentioned here, and then this one. So I'll show you both actually. So this, all you got to do is these two sockets right here, just plug it in like so, and you can see you got an opportunity to plug a stand in, and then it just sits down flush. No difference. If you want the cape to stand up like that, and you want to use the stand, so for example they gave the levitating pose on the packaging, so this you want to use instead, and then that stays put. You can't move the cape down. That it's just come off, but you can't move the cape down because of that bit sticking out a bit more, and that's fine. There's, you know, it does its purpose. So that's the cape really. So what I'm going to do is I'll take off this head, and then I'll quickly show you just how to remove the face on him. So for me personally, again, as I mentioned before, the ears are a bit soft, so I don't want to accidentally bend them and then they kind of stay that way. So I tend to just kind of put my nail in carefully, because I don't want to make nail prints either, under the turban at the back of his head, and then hopefully it should just come off. But you're going to have to tinker with it a little bit. So I'll do that. And there we go, it comes off. And then all you got to do, replace it with the head, the alternate head. And same thing. But again, you're going to have the same problem of trying to take it off. So you're going to have to dig back underneath. It's just the ears. They're not, you know, they're not badly made. I just don't want to ruin the ears. And then I don't want to do it from the front, because I've done that in the past with one of my figures. Then my nail ended up creating like a crease in their brow, so that was a bit annoying. So that's how you would change his face with the turban attached to him. Then what we're going to do is remove the mantle. So his head's come off, and then that allows you to remove the mantle. Just lift his arms up a little bit and then remove the mantle like so. When it comes to attaching the mantle and the arms back, up to you how you want to do it. You can either attach the arms first and then the mantle, or put the mantle on and then the arms. It doesn't really matter. It's probably more hassle doing this first. And then all you got to do to swap the arms is at the shoulder right here, from both sides, you just got to pull, and then they should hopefully come off with relative ease like so. Attaching it is a bit of a trouble. I would show you on camera, but it's going to slip all over the place. But basically you want to lift his shoulders like so, and then do one side and then try and get the other side to fit in. What can happen though, as you do that, for me anyway, at least on his left shoulder, this piece, the actual shoulder piece, you can kind of see here, comes off like so. Just reset this back. Hopefully that doesn't happen on both sides, because then that might make putting the folded arm trickier if that happens. But that's happened to me on the left side. It's not a problem really, but it does happen. Let's attach then his regular arms. So this is his right arm. Just gotta plug that in. Again, I think because of my moisturized hands, things are kind of slipping a little bit easily for me. Just as I mentioned, the joint that goes from his forearm up through the bicep needs to kind of click into the shoulder one. So if it does come off, just click it back in. If it doesn't click, it's not a big deal either, because sometimes they don't really click too loud. And same thing for the other side, like so. So do it snugly, and then there we go, we've got his arms. So I'm going to leave his head off just for the time being and show you, actually no, I'll show you his articulation now that I've got no mantelpiece. So let's go with the regular head. So his head can move up like so and down. My heads do pop off very easily, so if they do happen, then yeah, just going to have to deal with it side to side like so, and then of course looking either way. Just be careful again with his antenna. I've removed his head just because it can always pop off, so let's just kind of get that out of the way. His arms then, which I can now show you much more freely, do pull out nicely, really nicely. It's got really cool butterfly joints there. It's great. And then it can go all the way around, and then you've got the twist here, which I had a preview of before, and then the elbow like so, and then the hands, which I didn't show you either. So all in all, really good. He's got a bit more room now and movement or freedom to kind of twist and lean and such, because there's no mantelpiece on him. That didn't really hinder him too much anyway, but it's easier to show you now like so. Let's put this bit back, because I didn't show you that. Very simple, just add that in like so, and that's it really. It's not the cleanest looking thing on my one. Hopefully yours looks a little bit more clean, but it's not bad. You're not really going to see it, I don't think. I'm going to put his gritting teeth head on, because Piccolo without a head is a bit weird. Actually, I'll show you without his arm now. So let's take this bit off here, like so, and then find the piece. Here we go. And same thing as before, just add that one. These aren't too bad to swap. I think it's just because, again, I moisturized my hands right before using this figure, so everything's kind of not slimy, but a bit more trickier than usual. Or it might actually be the figure itself, because I remember having that issue with the S.H.Figuarts Blanca. Let me know if you have that issue as well. It's not a big deal, just curious. So then, yeah, these are really easy to swap, thankfully. Sometimes they can be a bit annoying to the point that I just don't want to bother. But with Piccolo, it's actually not too bad. So now that I've showed you how to change his head, his arms, the hand I didn't show you, so I might as well show you that. But pretty much, it's kind of all covered, really. And it's, you know, not bad. Like I said, it can, or maybe fiddly for you if it's a figure thing which is a bit slimy, or if it's just me. But otherwise, it's not too bad at all. I'm going to leave his arm like that. And then I'm going to bring out Goku just to show you side by side how that looks. So here's Goku. And then I'll bring out Gohan as well, the Kid Era one that came out just recently. I've done a video on this Gohan before. Love this figure. Check it out if you haven't already. So you can see Gohan has the red sash. I just prefer this color combination than the blue, I think. I don't know. The blue is not bad, but I just prefer the red, I think. And then I'll bring out Mafex Miles just because it's a different manufacturer. So you got Mafex Miles there. It kind of gives you a look, a very, very brief look at different kind of figures and sizes. I quite like this Piccolo figure. I think he's turned out quite good. Again, I don't really know how to compare him to the first one because I didn't get hands-on with the first version, but I like the way that this guy's come out, the sculpting and general things like that. The shading as well tends to be okay with his cape, for example, but otherwise he's kind of flat, which is fine. He still looks pretty good. By the way, I do like the way his chest is sculpted. I don't know why in particular, but I just thought it was really, I don't know, it looks really cool, defined. I like that. I also like the stuff that he comes with as well. Pretty decent amount of optional parts. Maybe an extra pair of battle posed hands would have been good, with maybe the two fingers up that Gohan and Goku tend to come with. Not a deal breaker again, just something that would have been a nice addition. And a stand probably would have been good with someone like Piccolo. But otherwise, I actually quite like this figure. I don't really have many faults with it, to be honest. There was like this minor kind of thing with the plastic. I think it was this leg. I actually don't even know now. So it just kind of looked a bit, the way it wasn't clean, basically. It wasn't like a smooth kind of finish on the plastic. And, you know, I can't find it now, but hopefully you can just pause it and see what I'm talking. Oh, here it is. There we go. This bit right here doesn't really show up too great. But, you know, me being nitpicky at that point. All in all, I do like the way this figure turned out. I think he's come with a decent amount of stuff. I think he looks great as well. Looks great with Goku. Looks great with Gohan. So I'm pretty satisfied with it. It's a general release, so you should still be able to get this figure from a fair few of retailers. Maybe not all of them now because of holiday season, but check anyway. You just try your luck. Thanks for stopping by to watch this video. If you want to check out the Goku one or the Gohan videos or other Dragon Ball figures, I've got some covered in my channel already, as well as stuff from other manufacturers. Stay safe wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video.